So Steel Wheel is asking about communion. On a personal note, it's kind of disgusting. But what's the history of it? Could it have come from somewhere else? Is there a political ploy in play here? Of course there is. Now we know based on the Catholicism, when you drink the wine, when you eat the bread, it actually transforms into flesh and blood inside your body. This goes completely against the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it was against God, a sin, an abomination for you to drink the blood of anything, of any animal. You were unclean if you did that. To eat that raw flesh, you are unclean. But of course, this is supposed to represent the Passover, right? The sacrificed lamb. But at Passover, they didn't drink the blood of the lamb. They put it over the door. They didn't do all this other nasty stuff that was created. So where could it have come from? Who wrote about it first? The first idea of this writing comes from letters written by Paul in and around 68 CE. So we're talking about a person who never, ever met Jesus, wasn't in the room. He wasn't the man in the room. He's wondering what happened in the room, but he wasn't in the room. But he wrote about it. Paul, the man not in the room, wrote about it. And what Paul said about that Last Supper could easily come from the writings of Dionysius. Why? Because Paul's mission was to go and talk to the Romans, the Gentiles, the Greeks. What did they already know? They already knew that Jesus was similar to Dionysius, 12 disciples, born and resurrected, born on the 25th, all these other things, the same thing of Dionysius. And who was he? Dionysius was the god of the vine, the god of wine. What did Dionysius' blood was represented by? Wine. Anytime they had a feast concerning Dionysius, they broke bread and drank wine to commemorate Dionysius as a resurrected god. So who were they talking about? They were talking about Dionysius. Plus, Paul knew all the old stories. He knew that when Samson was born, Gideon saw an angel, didn't know it was an angel, but once they had the Eucharist, then all of a sudden their eyes were open and they saw that it was an angel, face to face, as it says. This is the same kind of story that supposedly happened when Jesus was resurrected. They had the meal and then the people recognized that it was Jesus. So he's taking from an old story, writing it about a person he never met, about an event in a room that he wasn't in, but making it look like it's prophecy or some kind of pre-configuration of the coming of Jesus, when really he just took from Dionysius and he made it into something to be able to convince the Romans.